Hello dear students, hope you all well. Today we'll start our new chapter, Unit 7, Section B, Leading the Way. Leading the Way. So, as you can understand by the title of the chapter, Leading the Way. Leading means to lead something, or we can say leader who shows the path to others. People often have a particular idea about a certain type of person or thing, but this idea is not always true in reality. It means we people are having a different or certain idea about some other person or anything, but that is not true in reality. It happens many times. Have you ever experienced a situation in which you were expected to behave in a certain manner by somebody because you are a girl or a boy? Share your experience in the class. So here they are asking you that you been experienced such kind of situation where where you could not find the expected behavior by someone, or you did not do this expected behavior in front of others. So if something happened with you, you can share with your classmates or your friends. Let's begin the chapter. A doctor. Elizabeth Blackwell was born in England in 1821. This is about the doctor. Her name is Elizabeth Blackwell, and she born in England in 1821, but she moved to the United States with her family when she was 2 years old. By the time she was 23, she had decided that she wanted to be a doctor. However, during her time, there were no female doctors in the United States. So what happened here? There is a girl. Her name is Elizabeth Blackwell. She was born in England, but she has to move to United States with her family. Maybe some circumstances there. When she was 2 years old, that time she has to move from England to United States. When she was 23, she has decided to wanted to be a doctor. At the age of 23, she has decided that she wanted to become a doctor. However, during her time, there were no female doctor in the United States. But the one thing which troubling her is that there is no female doctors in the United States at the time. So, it wasn't easy for Elizabeth to study medicines. Then now it is difficult for her to study medicines. Most of the medical colleges she applied to turn her down, and medical colleges also refused to take her. The man who taught medicine didn't think it was right for a woman to be a doctor, and the doctor himself who taught others, he himself not feel that woman doesn't have rights to be a doctor. Finally, she was admitted to Geneva Medical College in New York. She was the only woman in class of 150 students. Finally she got admission in Geneva Medical College, that is in New York, and there she was the only single woman in the class among 150 students. The other medical students made things difficult for Elizabeth, so this creates difficulty for her, and other students started making things difficult for her. They criticized her, refused to talk to her, and kept her from taking part in the classroom medical demonstration. What they used to do, they criticized her. Criticize means finding fault or uh, point out someone's flaws. So what they are doing, they criticized her. They say no to talk to her, and they kept her from taking part in the classroom medical demonstration, and they are not even allowing, or um, not even taking her not even allowing to taking her part in the demonstration. Despite all, 2 years later she graduated at the head of her class, and beside all those things she graduated as the head of the class, and in 1849 she became the first female doctor in United States. Despite her training, Elizabeth could not get a job in any of the city's hospitals. Her difficulties were not finished yet. Here, after having a degree of doctor, she could not get a job in any hospital of the city. So she opened her own hospital. What she has done, she has opened her own hospital, the New York Infirmary for women and children, in a district where many poor people live. What she has done, she has opened her own hospital, own infirmary. It's a kind of small hospital, or you can say dispensary, for women or children where many people lived, poor people lived. When the American Civil War broke out in 1861, her hospital became a relief center for wounded soldiers. She also helped select and train nurses for the war. She established a medical school for women so that other women could become doctors. In 1868, she opened the Women's Medical College, the first of its kind in America. And then what she did, she opened a women medical college also so that other women also become the doctors. So that was about Emmeline Pankhurst. Now an activist. Activist is the person who work as for some good thought, or some kind of thing which is not, which need to be changed. So Emmeline Pankhurst was born in England in 1858. She was born in a family that had a long history of political and social activism. Not surprisingly, Emmeline grew up to be a champion of women's suffrage or right to vote. She is the first woman who won the right, suffrage means right to vote. Her efforts only sufficient, or she only think about that we should be equal to the men's. During her lifetime, she held different municipal offices such as poor law guardian and a registrar of birth and death. She would witness to the inferior position of women in society and their legal and social oppression by men. She realized that the only means of emancipating women and reforming society at large by ensuring political rights for women on par with those of men. She is the only one who has witnessed the inferior position of society in women. So she decided to, or she realized the only means of emancipating means free from slavery or give equal right. For that, what they need to do, they need to reform the society, and they need to ensure the political rights of women also near with those of men, means equal with those of men. In 1903, she founded the Women Social and Political Union, an exclusively female organization independent of all political party. Then what she did in 1903, she only has founded a union that is called WSPU, Women Social and Political Union. She only create that. It is an independent political party. The motto of this union was deeds, not words. And what's the motto of this society is deeds, not words. Means do or don't speak a lot. Just do and prove it to everyone. And it focused entirely on women's suffrage. The organization distrusted all promises and demanded immediate parliamentary action on the issue. Emmeline and her supporters campaigned against the ruling party's candidate at election, interrupted meetings of cabinet ministers, and launched hunger strikes hoping to force the hand of the ruling government on the matter. The government more often than not responded by jailing them. So what she did, the organization distrusted all promises and demanded immediate parliamentary action on the issue. What this organization want? This organization wants immediate parliamentary action. That government have to think about them, or should think about them immediately. Emmeline was her supporter, and she was campaigning against the ruling party candidate election, everybody, and the meetings held, and they launched a hunger strike also, so that the ruling government will do something in that matter. And government more often than that responded by jailing them. What government did? Government jailed them, means put them in the prison. When the First World War started in 1914, Emmeline called off the suffrage campaign to support the country's war effort. But all of the sudden, what happened in between? In 1914, there is a world war. So she called off means she has taken back the campaign and she has decided to help or support the country. During the war years, she visited the United States, Canada, Russia to encourage women to be part of the industrial workforce. In 1918, the British government passed a law that gave women over the age of 30 the right to vote, and in 1918 she got success. She got the right at the age of 30 women would be able to cast their vote. This was a significant achievement of Emmeline and the WSPU. Later, shortly before her death in 1928, the British Parliament passed the law granting equal voting rights to men and women. It was in the same year that a woman crossed the Atlantic Ocean in an aeroplane for the first time. And after her death in 1928, British Parliament passed a law that the law granting equal voting rights to the man and the woman. And it was the same year where a woman crossed an Atlantic Ocean in an aeroplane for the first time. Now the next, an aviator. Aviator is the person or someone who operates an aircraft. So Amelia Earhart was born in United States in 1897. After graduating from high school, she worked as a nurse in Canada during the First World War. Later, after the war ended, she worked as a social worker in Boston, teaching English to immigrant children. Amelia Earhart, basically, she is from United States, and at first, when after graduating, she started working as a nurse in Canada during the First World War, and later she worked as a social worker in Boston, and then she used to teach the immigrant children. Aeroplane stunt shows were very quite popular during 1920s. Amelia too enjoyed such aerial displays. So what happened that time in 1920s, there were aeroplane stunt was quite popular that time. So she also enjoyed. One day after taking a 10-minute plane ride, she decided that she had to learn to fly. What happened a day, she has taken a 10-minute plane ride, and afterwards she only had decided that I want to become a aviator. Through her determination and her hard work, she was able to raise enough money to pay for her flying lesson. Through her determination and hard work, she has earned money or raised money for her flying lessons. Then in 1928, she was invited to join the pilots Wilmer Sludge and Louis Gordon while they flew from America to England, and then things changed. She has invited to join two very good pilot, that is Wilmer Sludge and Louis Gordon. They are going to flee from America to England, thus making her the first woman to fly across the Atlantic Ocean. And she was the first woman who fly across the Atlantic Ocean. In 1932, she added to the distinction by becoming the first woman to fly solo across the Atlantic. And then 1932, she was becoming the first woman to fly solo without even help of others, alone. She went on to make several such solo long distance flights, making her the outstanding female pilot of her time. Earhart showed deep interest in the development of commercial aviation and was quite active in opening up the field to women. And afterwards, what she wants to open the same kind of academy for the women also. She want other women to learn this. She lived in a time when women had very limited opportunities to make their mark in professions that had long been dominated by men. She spent much of her career advocating equal opportunities for women in aviation as well as in other fields. It was her dream that individuals would be valued one day for their abilities regardless of their gender. What her motto is basically is that everyone should be valued because of their abilities, not of their gender. Thank you so much. Read this chapter once again for better understanding.